Any of you niggas ever seen this motherfucker before?
Nah, I ain't seen shit.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yo, hold up, man. Yo.
Come on. Where's everybody going? Thought we were gonna hang out.
Welcome back, guys. First of all, I want to thank you all. You absolutely went bonkers on the last video. So now I got you the update on that build. Even though they tried to nerf this combination, I got the build even stronger than what it used to be. Keep in mind that most of my mods are pretty subpar, since master difficulty isn't unlocked yet. Now, let's dive into the build breakdown. We start from the weapon calibration blueprints. All three available options have their pros and cons. Rapid shot style, the one I'm using right now, is granting us 20% increased fire rate that helps us stack Lone Wolf buff faster, at a loss of 17.5% weapon damage. Precision style, on the other hand, gives us 43.75% increased damage at the cost of 10% fire rate. Heavy style gives us an insanely big mag that turns the weapon into an LMG. Heavy style combined with shrapnel souvenir gives us insane damage sustain, furthermore increasing the amount of bullets we can dish out before we have to reload. In any of the three cases, your attributes should always both be rolled as crit rate, since we're lacking crit rate with the removal of targeted takedown. In my opinion, the best option of the three would be precision style, but since I don't have one rolled with double crit, I'm stuck with rapid shot for now. On the crossbow, I'm using portable style, helping me switch between the two weapons faster, so I'll lose as little time as possible from the bullseye duration while I'm swapping. Now, let's talk mods. On the SCAR or SOCR, we're using Obliterate, which doesn't seem to work as intended, and gives us only 30% shrapnel damage instead of 45 or even 60 that it should be giving. Even so, it's the best mod we can use for now. Other options would be Shrapnel Smash if you don't have high enough crit chance, and for earlier stages of the game you can use Crit Boost Violent or Munitions Amplifier Violent. On the crossbow, we're still using the same mod, and that's Vulnerability Amplifier, that buffs a bullseye debuff from 8% to 16% increased damage taken, and this damage is multiplicative that even further buffs your damage output. On the helmet slot, I'm still using the Beret. From testing that I've done, it seems like Beret is giving us twice the amount of shrapnels than we had before, but sometimes it's inconsistent and only gives us +1 instead of +2. We range from 2 shrapnels to 4. Now, comparing this to our other options, which are the cage helmet and the gas mask. The cage helmet only counts twice towards the hit counter, meaning that it's only beneficial to mods like explosive shrapnel that needs 20 hits, reducing that to 10 shrapnel procs for the trigger. The gas mask, on the other hand, gives us 120% increased damage on the shrapnel, meaning with the shrapnel having base 50% weapon damage, this means 120% out of 50%, that's gonna give us an extra 60% shrapnel damage, totaling up to 110%. In this case, we're using Last Valor, and we have 3 or more shrapnels triggering each time, meaning that every time we trigger a shrapnel, we're doing upwards of 150% damage, and gas mask is not worth it because it limits us only to 1 shrapnel. Other than that, I'm using a 4-piece Lone Wolf, which gives us 10% max size, 5% crit rate, and it full stacks 60% crit damage, with 1 piece Bastille that's going to give us another 10% weapon damage while over 70% HP. Now let's talk mods. On the helmet, we drop Precise Strike for Momentum Up Violent, which gives us 10% increased fire rate for the top half of our magazine and 30% increased weapon damage for the bottom half. On the mask, I'm using the reworked Targeted Strike, that now gives us 10% crit rate and 25% crit damage. On the gloves, I'm using crit amplifier Violent, which gives us 10% crit rate and 15% crit damage. On the boots, I got covered Advanced Violent, which grants me 20% weapon damage for 30 seconds if I haven't been hit for a period of 4 seconds. Another good option here is Slow and Steady, that gives us 10% weapon damage and an additional 10 while being over 90% HP. On the chest piece, I'm using a blue crit damage enhancement Violent mod. And finally, on the pants, we still got Deadshot Violent, that at full stacks gives us 45% crit damage. Now, for the attributes, from most beneficial to least. Starting from the SCAR, we got crit damage, weapon damage, shrapnel crit damage, max size, and damage to great ones. On the crossbow, we only want bullseye duration and reload speed. Any other defensive attributes are nice to have. On the rest of the gear, we mainly want crit damage and weapon damage. And any other beneficial stat that you see fit, like max size, damage to great ones, or max HP. Now moving on the cradle, I'm using automatic weapon enhancement, tactical combo, deadly combo, rapid aid, bullet hunt, sprint, steady hunt, and agility. Some other recommended cradle buffs are bounty hunter and master tactician when fighting great ones. Also, deviation master is really nice when fighting deviants, meaning silo bosses. Recommended food buffs remain the same as before. As for deviants, I like to use Festering Joe, but Butterfly Emissary is also really good for bosses who don't have weak spots, so you can proc Bullseye. Be careful, when using the Butterfly against bosses that have a weak spot, you cannot override that buff with your crossbow, meaning you're losing 30% crit rate. The only beneficial way to use it against bosses with weak spots would be as soon as the bullseye debuff runs out in the cooldown timer of the crossbow. Like this, we can reapply the debuff, meaning we have a bigger duration of dealing as much damage as possible. And that's the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you really like it, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you want to, you can subscribe to motivate me to bring you even more content like this. See you on the next one.